What's up, guys? Today we are going to be reacting to Kim Possible. 1 minute, I'm gonna have to be a bit close to my mouth because pause. Because listen, it's really late right now. I uploaded the Totally Spies AMV and ready. It's been in my library for ages, my gallery. And guess what? I got copyrighted. Yep. So cause my upload schedule day, the first third day, and I'm doing a reaction video right now because it's a combo doing AMV. I hope you enjoy it because we have been doing a lot of reaction. We did 2 reaction videos, I think, so far. 2 reaction videos. It's the third one. I hope you'll all enjoy it. We're going to react to the iconic rise of Kim Possible. So we're going to check out that. So yeah. We're just going to react to this and nothing else. I'm sorry.
Kim Possible is a young high schooler who extends her
Oh man, I'm going to have to put it all the way back.
Kim Possible is a young high schooler who extends her skills as a highly athletic cheerleader.
I better not get copyrighted. Please don't let me get copyrighted for this. Please, I beg of you. I don't want to get copyrighted. It's a reaction video. Don't get me copyrighted.
And gadget user to help those who reach out to her through her website, kimpossible.com. With the help of her clumsy sidekick Ron Stoppable and Rufus, the naked mole rat, as well.
First, I want to say that the live action of this is terrible. Do not watch the live action. It's terrible. The movies, the cartoon movie, animation movies, they're good. They're good. I've not really watched them, but it'll be better. The series is good. The movies would be good. But yeah, the the live action. We don't talk about that.
As Wade, they travel all across the globe to foil the plans of evil villains. Except for Wade, he stays at home. Kim is a bit of a non-conforming vigilante superhero. For one, she doesn't have a secret identity. Everyone down to her parents, coach, teachers, and classmates know about her crime-fighting extra.
Okay, pause right there. That cannot be me. I don't care if it's my family, friends. No care. I'm wearing a mask. No one's gonna know who I am because that's how villains know you. Because they could hack you, right? Find out your information on your family, take your family hostage, and try to bribe you for something. Like try to use you just to get your family back. You see, that's why, like Spider-Man, hides his identity so his family don't get in danger.
Curriculars. I wish I could say that this works in her favor, but she doesn't really get special treatment from any of them, or fame, or notoriety, although I do appreciate that she has an honest and healthy relationship with her very.
Sorry about that. But the fame, she should be famous. How has she not got the fame? She's saving the day. She's saving people's lives. She should be freaking famous in the whole world. She should be like Superman and Batman already.
Supportive parents. Kim's attitude is confident, dexterous, and extremely positive. But although she is popular at school due to her high status as a cheerleader, she still has social issues like any teenage girl would. Born to a family of geniuses with a brain surgeon mother, a rocket scientist father, and 2 techie genius younger brothers, Kim struggles under the pressure of her family's expectations of her, or more so the expectations that she puts on herself. Because she's a cheerleader, she doesn't fit in with the normies, and because she's friends with a normie, meaning she doesn't adhere to social expectations of her status, she doesn't quite fit in with the popular crowd either. While she manages to flawlessly and
Sorry, I was going to be watching the Breezy expose reaction but of Kim Possible. I was like, nah, let's watch Wait Remembers, because I just thought that would be interesting, you know? You might enjoy that more. But if you want to see me watch one of those videos, I will. Also, I finished all of my Hey Arnold series. I still need to watch the movies. For some reason, I don't know why, but I couldn't watch them on my PlayStation. I think because of my country I live in. But I could just go on Dopebox and watch the movies.
confidently dominate in every one of her missions, the same can't necessarily be said for her life at home or at school. In fact, her missions tend to be the B-plot of most episodes where she thrives, and her regular life is where things get complicated. Because of the dynamic differences, both are just equally as interesting. The social and dialogue-heavy happenings is mentally stimulating, while her easygoing action-packed crime-fighting escapades are visually stimulating. They balance each other out really well and also give Kim's character a lot of emotional emotional depth. Well-developed and expertly designed characters is one of the reasons that this series was widely popular to kids all around the world. Reaching international and domestic success, the series ran for 4 seasons, with a TV movie and 1 live-action movie that happened over a decade after the series ended. Kim Possible is one of the most beloved kids' cartoons, alongside shows like Danny Phantom, Phineas and Ferb, Ben 10, and many more. If you enjoy
I did finish all of uh what was it called again? Oh crap. What did he call it? I can't remember.
Phineas and Ferb, Ben 10, and many more. If you enjoy
There was a series he showed, but I actually finished. Oh yeah, Danny Phantom. I finished the whole season of Danny Phantom. It was really good. Don't know why he shows his identity at the end, but whatever.
this video, you better subscribe because today we are going to take a look at one of the biggest shows Disney had. This is the iconic rise of Kim Possible.
Okay, Wade, we're here. What's the sitch?
Welcome back to the 25 Days of Fringemas, where there's going to be brand new videos every single day from...
I got one more thing. If you have these old cartoons like Kim Possible, Hey Arnold, they're worth a lot of money, you know. They're like £35 for one of those. Okay, maybe because you're buying the complete series actually. Because the complete series for Kim Possible is like 30 something pound because you're getting basically, right? You're getting 2 movies, not the live action, thank God, but 2 movies in, I think he said 3-4 seasons you have, so it's like all the seasons included.
December 1st to December 25th. Hop aboard.
Kim Possible premiered on June 7, 2002. It centered around a brave and confident young
I was born in 2003. It's crazy. 2002 this was made.
heroine, Kim Possible, her goofy and lovable sidekick, Ron Stoppable, with his pet naked mole rat, Rufus. Through her website, as well as her Communicator, I see what they did there, and her friend and 10-year-old genius prodigy, Wade, she is given missions in which she is tasked with stopping crime that is more often than not attempted by one or many of our favorite reoccurring villains, such as the duo of Dr. Draken and Shigo, Senor Senior Senior and Senor Senior Junior, Monkey Fist, Duff Killigan, and the list goes on. This series was really good at casting actors that were well known from other Disney works. Christy Romano is the voice of Kim Possible, previously known for her role in the Even Stevens Show and the movie. Will Friedle is Ron Stoppable, known for his role as Eric in Boy Meets World. And Taj Mowry plays Wade, known for his previous role as TJ in Smart Guy. Lastly, Rufus is played by Nancy Cartwright. Oh, you know, only the voice of Bart Simpson. A lot of the supporting cast has some more iconic big names. Debbie Reynolds plays Nana Possible, John DiMaggio plays Dr. Draken, Raven Simone plays Monique, Tara Strong plays, well, side character cheerleader named Tara, and Nicole Sullivan plays Shigo. It's a wonderful affair of voice talent to go around that truly bring a lot of life to this show.
Never be normal!
Kim Possible is next on Disney Channel.
I had an ad, so I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Kick it back to KP on Disney Channel.
As the series evolves, we see Kim face newer struggles. The first few episodes don't reveal too much about her insecurities, so we are able to get into the groove with her confidence. But as the more complex social dynamics emerge over time, we see how much more fragile she can potentially be. She can be insecure and prone to material desires. She's just like me for real. But this doesn't make her unlikable. In fact, it makes her relatable. If she were just as amazing at home as she was out in the field, the series would be pretty boring. Instead, she has weak points that make her a believable character as
After this video, you lot are so lucky, but I am not, because I'm going to react to 2 videos today. 2. I got to react to this, what's going to be uploaded today. Alright, because my 3rd video is out already and I need to upload. Then I got to react to another video for a new video, because I can't think of any AVs at the moment. I might try and see how many videos I can react to. I might react to 3, 4. I'm going to react to this, what I'm doing now, sorry. I'm going to react to probably either another one of these or another YouTuber. Hopefully I don't get copyright with the music he plays. Yeah.
well as lots of room to grow as a character. She knows that it's dumb to care about teenage drama, but it still affects her as much as she tries to ignore it. Also, she is a teenager, cheerleader or not, she's not perfect. She's going through it just like you and me had to, minus, saving the world and stuff. I also appreciate that she's allowed to be what some would claim is stereotypically girly. This show will receive a lot of the same praise that I gave Totally Spies in my video for that show. In addition, she cares a lot about her social status and her grades. She's a walking, talking ball of anxiety that can be widely affected by one well-placed insinuation from a frenemy, like fellow cheerleader Bonnie Rockwaller. Her perfectionism and constant striving to be the best is not sustainable, and it shows. However, I do want to emphasize while she does struggle socially, she handles it with grace. Her vocabulary is filled with really fun and snarky teenage slang, and she is hyper-confident in herself physically when it comes to her fashion sense and how she presents herself. So even when she's insecure, she still manages to be someone that a younger viewer watching would strive to be when they grow up, or as they are experiencing it at the same time. Although she struggles immensely with asking people out and navigating the cheerleading squad, she is still a super suave and powerful character. She has that teenage spunk that isn't afraid to challenge authority. One of the running jokes of the show,
Literally, I don't even know. Is he even a monkey?
was that Kim has so much casual experience under her belt that whenever she needs anything, there is always someone who is indebted to her for either saving their livelihoods or families. When she thanks those who repay her, they always express their gratitude back, to which she always says, it's no big. Imagine saving someone's whole life and then saying, it's no big deal, don't worry about it. Her casual yet confident manner of speaking makes her that much more cool of a teenager and an overall character. Kim's character development really comes to a head in the Kim Possible movie, So the Drama, where Ron confesses his feelings towards her and they become the Disney super couple that all of us never, but simultaneously somehow always, knew we needed. If you weren't there at the time watching this show as it happened, this was such a long build-up and payoff that while enjoying reliving it again on a rewatch just didn't hit the same as now. You can just binge the show. You didn't have to wait literal years for this. After the events of the movie, where she finds confidence in who she loves and subsequently stops caring about what other people think, we see her character suddenly become so much more powerful and confident in a new way. It feels like it matches the rest of her character. Sort of reminds me how Kimmy's character in Symbionic Titan blossomed as she accepted her love for Octus. In addition to that, it also felt that there was more of a given purpose to explore these characters further beyond the movie, which could have been a solid ending to the series on its own. Kim Possible was created by Bob Schooley and Mark McCorkle. They were already aware that Disney was asking around for a show that showed ordinary kids in extraordinary circumstances. One day on the way back from lunch, Mark turned to Bob and said, Kim Possible, she can do anything. And Bob said, Ron Stoppable, he can't. And from there, the idea was born that there would be a girl action lead and a boy comedic sidekick. They realized that growing up, they had characters like James Bond and Captain Kirk to look up to, but their daughters did not share a common role model in TV or movies. Characters like James Bond and Captain Kirk were larger than life, and someone that each boy could look up to as someone that they wanted to be. After experiencing their daughters go through some of their formative years of life and growing up, they really started to notice the lack of female-led media that showcased a girl in those larger-than-life roles. They wanted someone—
You know that girl with the green? She reminds me of someone from Danny Phantom. I just can't remember who it was though.
that their daughters could pretend to be,
Right,
much
yeah.
like how they pretended to be
reminds me of
James
the girl
Bond
from
and
Danny
Captain
Phantom.
Kirk when they were younger. In creating Kim's character, they went through lots of ideas. The first few dealt with Kim being a blonde, with a standard athletic build, but from there they realized she had to be unique. When later consulting with Disney, they decided to move away from the classic look of a video game heroine, like their initial inspiration from Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. They decided to change her look to something more conducive to an actual real 14-year-old girl. The character design can be credited to a few people specifically. The season 1 director Chris Bailey played a key role, as did the art director Alan Bodner, and specifically the character designer Steven Silver. Silver had actually been a bit of a crossover as he was working on the Danny Phantom series full-time, and around that same time he was also freelance designing characters for Kim Possible on the side. Season 1 director Chris Bailey shared some of the art style inspirations for the series as a whole. They really looked toward futuristic designs that were essential to the 50s and 60s. Kidney bean shapes and free-flowing lines were important design factors to the furniture, interiors, and background art of the series. In creating the objects that would interact with the characters on screen, like cups and chairs, they leaned toward a larger-than-life effect. Technically, they tried to make the objects about 1/3 larger than they would appear in real life, much thicker and chunkier. There was also a lot of inspiration pulled from attraction posters from Disneyland in the 50s that were patterned after traditional European travel posters. Some of the defining factors of the art style were separation of foreground and middle ground with a heavy silhouette look. This created a heavy contrast, especially because they heavily used a geometric, bold, abstract even, type of shape and design. This created a huge sense of distance between the foreground and background, as well as the characters that were shown on the screen. The characters, Kim especially, had noticeable shading differences compared to other characters, especially in scenes where she is in her crime-fighting getup, her iconic baggy military cargo pants and long-sleeve crop tee. Kim and Ron's outfits are really similar, yet there is always a distinct difference in the shade of her outlines and his. Each character has 3 degrees of value to them that make them stand out. This really emphasizes how the show gets more abstract and simpler, yet more artistic as the series develops.
Kim, pick up, pick up, pick up!
Kim Possible is next on Disney Channel.
It's
Booyah! Kim Possible is back.
The series was a smash hit and even dodged initial cancellation. The creators shared that they had noticed an ancient truism that shows starring boys are easily marketable to girls, but shows starring girls are more difficult to get boys to watch. So when the series was a hit with both demographics, they were thrilled. When the series had initially drawn to a close, Kim Possible the movie, so the drama, was supposed to serve as a series finale, giving the audience the closure they wanted in seeing both Kim and Ron come together at a happy ending. But one thing you will learn about fans is that once you give them a taste of what they want, they're gonna want more. After the intense success of the movie, there was such a huge outcry of fans wanting the show back to see more of Kim and Ron. The series was also performing extremely well internationally, specifically in Germany and Japan, so it made financial sense for Disney to invest in another season after the global buzz following the movie. So they returned for a 4th and final season, with the true last episode airing on September 7th, 2007. The reason for Kim Possible's initial cancellation was heavily attributed to executive turnover. At that point, so many of the executives that had given the series the green light had left, and with so many new and fresh people being ushered in, they wanted to make their own legacies and usher in their own shows that they could call their own, especially Phineas and Ferb, which was being pitched around at the time Kim Possible was drawing to a close, and a lot of them were ready to start something new. To be quite honest, it kind of shows that the writers weren't fully prepared to have to deliver more of what the audience wanted with Kim and Ron's relationship. They even have admitted that themselves. I understand that some fans were frustrated that they aren't the smooth operating duo that they could be, but to be honest, if when they weren't together, they never worked together that smoothly to begin with. Not to mention, for a young couple in their first real relationship, they have a great amount of healthy trust in each other. When Bonnie kisses Ron, Kim automatically dismisses his excuses, making a joke about how she knows he didn't instigate it, because it had taken him 12 years to kiss her, and so now she is just angry at Bonnie instead. For a young couple, they are surprisingly in a very healthy relationship, and although the writers weren't fully prepared to go and have to back up their decisions to couple them up after the movie, they did a pretty good job of it, beyond just having to come up with what this final season would be. In the beginning, Kim first started her life-changing website because she wanted to make extra money through her freelance babysitting and lawn mowing services. You know, the typical teenage stuff. However, when an eccentric billionaire gets stuck in a laser maze that was intended to protect his collectible plush collection...
That is so dumb. You could just walk through that. What? I'm not. I don't even know what to say. I'm not gonna say nothing. That is just embarrassing.
Collecting things. What a weirdo. Anyway, while trying to contact Team Impossible, they accidentally contact Kim through her website. When she receives the requisition, however, she doesn't turn them down. In fact, it becomes her first real Kim Possible mission, setting the course for how she will live the rest of her life following. As I mentioned earlier, around the time Kim Possible was developed, Disney was looking to showcase ordinary kids in extraordinary situations. And this show does exactly that. The series shows that saving the world is not necessarily a task left to fully grown adults like Batman, but something that kids can achieve by just believing that they can do it, even with so little life experience that often leaves more room for growth. She could easily have taken a look at the billionaire's request and decided to hand off the responsibility, but that didn't even occur to her because she did say that she could do anything. It's an important life lesson that can be applied in a smaller scale to the kids that watch. Not that they should be going around attempting to stop museum heists, but that they, just like Kim, can achieve anything if they just put their mind to it. The most reoccurring villain has to be the Dr. Draken and Shigo duo, which initially wasn't going to be written to reflect Kim and Ron's relationship. Dr. Draken, despite his immediately dominating aura, weathered look, and implied PhD or MD, he turns out to be more bumbling and easily manipulated just like Ron. It's clear that Shigo runs the show and is the world's most powerful and apt at defeating Kim, even though she never does defeat her fully. They appear to be evenly matched mentally because physically, Shigo's got those glowy hand powers that you'd think would be more effective. It's evident by the way that Draken and Ron both just being strung up and incapacitated in the same situation, while the fighting continues with Shigo and Kim. And because we're so confident in Kim's ability to defeat her enemies in the ring, they offer a really fun dynamic and familiar face along with plans that aren't actually all that evil or as despicable as they try and present themselves to be. Now, here is the non sequitur of me in my younger years watching the show and seeing Shigo for the first time and truly having that realization. The one that, oh yeah, that's what I like. I'm into that. For characters like her or Raven from Teen Titans, when I was a kid, I had a full understanding that going into adulthood, I would carry my personal acquired tastes into future relationships. Listen, we all have those characters that just hit you in different ways and boom, before you know it, it's controlled your whole life going forward. I don't need to elaborate further. I'm sure you all have your own characters from moments in time to point back to. Some may say the same with my examples, but nevertheless, here I am telling my story to the internet. You're welcome, or I'm sorry. Take your pick. As far as my personal feelings on the show in general, I think it truly was one of Disney's most special shows, allowing for both great characters and engaging action that flows together very nicely. Kim and Ron are both extremely relatable for both of their own character traits that I feel can be seen in anyone watching. I can see parts of who I am as a person in both Ron and Kim, which is a testament to how these two were developed. I also liked how they showcased Kim's relationship with her family at home, dealing with her parents and siblings in a less than traditional way we would see in a lot of other cartoons, especially at the time. The parents felt like actual parents who cared for their kids but never treated them as less than for being kids. In a lot of shows, parents would be portrayed as distant, dumb, or in some cases evil, which sure, I think that works for a lot of other shows that present different stories with different tones to them. It was just refreshing here to have a bit of levity with the parental figures. To me, Kim Possible is an incredible show that only gets better and better the more you watch it. I think it's one of the greatest things to come from Disney, not just in that era it came out in, but in general and overall.
Very well. Where's my checkbook?
Kim Possible's got your back, and she'll be back.
So I'm quiet. Nothing to talk about. Yeah, if I got something to talk about, I'll talk.
Kim is hot on the case.
Kim Possible was one of the biggest successes for Disney and for the future of Disney. It not only was breaking new ground having a show that both demographics were heavily invested in, amassing a large fan base, it was great at blending in so many different genres, from the typical school setting to James Bond-esque missions, sci-fi elements, and hand-to-hand combat that you'd find in some classic action movies. It was never scared to keep switching things up, but keeping the main core of the show, the characters, who they were. The show also really helped pave the way for female-led action shows, as we would quickly see more shows in that nature pop up over the next couple decades. And a lot of those shows ended up becoming massive hits of their own and have personally become some of my favorites. It told the networks that giving a chance to something like this was worth developing, as it would bring that divided gap of the back then girl show or boy show debates. It gave an open welcome for anyone to watch the show and for anyone to enjoy what it was. On top of that, a strong lead character who isn't shown to be perfect but is shown to be herself. If you take out all of the action and all of the crime fighting, you are still left with great characters that can make an impact on you and allow you to see yourself in. Kim Possible was able to deliver 4 seasons and a movie's worth of entertainment from 2002 to 2007. It was able to expand into a massive franchise with video games, merchandise, and so much more. How many people had the Kim Possible ringtone for either their text message alerts or incoming phone calls? It built up such a strong brand that so many could look up to. It even had a fun crossover episode with Lilo and Stitch the animated series in a pretty cool way. But as far as the future of Kim Possible, we were actually given a live-action movie, which I've come to learn that a lot of fans have chosen to ignore, but it happened. In fact, it was quite recently released, having come out in February of 2019. From having no content since 2007 to receiving a live-action movie in 2019, it was quite surprising to see Disney try and gauge some interest with this property for a new generation, as the movie itself was skewed a bit younger. I am all for more Kim Possible, but more so on the cartoon side of things than the live-action side. And that's not me saying I think the live-action film was bad, that's just me saying I don't personally have an interest in that. Christy Romano has been vocal about wanting to do a reboot of the series, so who knows what may come in the future. It just depends on where Disney does or does not want to take this IP. But in that same breath, I'm actually quite happy with the series that we have right now and where it left at. It's a great comfort series to revisit whenever I'm in the mood for it, and it's a sizable enough amount of content, so I'm pretty content on it. I just wouldn't say no if more episodes were to come out. But what if there is actually more? This year we hit the 20th anniversary for the series, which is awesome to see how many people still deeply care about Kim Possible all these years later. But Kim Possible may just have that continuation after all. Listed on IMDb, Kim Possible, instead of saying 2002 to 2007, now reads 2002 to 2023, and under the seasons it shows a question mark and a release date for an episode that is 28 minutes.
So basically saying it's gonna release, there's gonna be a new remake of it with a new episode.
Long, coming out on July 7th, 2023, which would be 21 years and 1 month since the original first episode of Kim Possible was released. It also has the name for the first episode being Possible Team Part 1, which is pretty interesting based on where Kim Possible left at and what the team name for Kim, Ron, Wade, and Rufus is. So who knows what this could be all about. I think the most interesting part is that it is titled Part 1, which could indicate that this is a special that consists of a few parts to it, or the beginning of a new season of the show. Since it's listed as a part of the original series, that most likely means that this is a continuation and not a reboot of the show. While making this video, however, they also updated it to no longer show the name of the episode, which is also pretty interesting, so I guess we shall wait and see. The iconic rise that Kim Possible had, regardless of being off the air since 2007, I don't believe personally has ever fallen, so it may just be time for that rise to continue its upward trend. But how do you feel about Kim Possible? Are you a massive fan of the series, and would you be into a continuation of the show if that turns out to be true? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Later.
Alright guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I don't know if I might react to another video. I'll see what I can do. I might do it tomorrow. So I'm just gonna end the video here. This will be uploaded as well, so yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.